Hey guys, I am back and I'm going to do my starter install. Pretty easy process or simple process, but I wanted to cover it, wanted to go over it, a couple things. What I've done is, this is a rebuilt engine, but I went ahead and ran a tap through both of my bolt holes just to clean those up. My bolts I got out of a salvage yard because the dealership gave me the wrong ones. So I went ahead and ran a dye down those to clean them up, and tried to spray a little WD-40 on them, clean them up. They look pretty nice. With something like this, guys, take the few extra minutes and do those extra steps, clean out those holes, and make sure you've got good clean bolts. With something like this, the last thing you really want with any of it is a starter bolt to break off in the block, especially this far along in the process. So just take care and do those things, man, and make your life a little easier. Take a little bit of the stress out of all of this. So with that, I'm gonna climb up under here. Alright guys, just make sure your wires are back out of the way. I'll wind up bolting those on here in just a few minutes once I get this starter stabbed. If you've got exhaust and headers and stuff like that in the way, you're going to want to go ahead and hook those wires up before you stick your starter up here and install it. Just so happens I've not got anything in the way, so it's going to be a little easier for me, a little quicker. But you just want to get one of those started and grab the other one. That's the other thing, guys. When you clean those holes out and clean the bolts up, you can pretty well put these in with, you know, finger tight, run them on up pretty good with just your hands. It just, I don't know, it's just easier. It makes life a little easier for you. You don't want to put an impact on these guys. Run these up by hand. You'd be kind of foolish to do this with an impact. It's going to take a few minutes probably to run these up, or a couple minutes, but right, that one's good and snug. This one is good and snug. Guys, these have torque specs. I'll come back later and torque these. I'm just going to snug them up right now and get them good and tight, and come back later to those. Crawl out from under here. Now what you want to do is try to get your wires and get those lined up. Get on there. There we go. I can get this thing turned around here. The way I've got it run under that motor mount is kind of got it where it's being difficult. Maybe I've got it. There we go. Right there. Alright, let me grab my bolts over here, my nuts. Just going to kind of run that down with my hand so it'll stay in its groove there. This other one, guess I left a little bit of length on this one when I was doing my harness and stuff. And we will flip this one. Tell you what, let's go up over the top of that dipstick cover, or dipstick tube. Kind of help hold that in place there. All that one does is come off of the key switch to tell the starter to engage. These are little bitty, maybe I won't drop them. The gloves are nice, but sometimes with that little stuff it's a little harder to hold on to. got that on there started. Let me run it down with this. Alright, that's good and snug. That one's pretty good and snug. Get the big old arms out of your way. Go ahead and tighten this up here. These don't take a lot, guys. You want them where they don't loosen up on you later on, but they haven't got to be Superman tight. Just snug them up really good, and try to remember that all of your main battery power is coming through here. All right. Get that little one tightened up, and we'll button this video up and be done with the starter. Move on to the next thing. Getting tight, there we go. Again, guys, these don't take a whole lot of tightening, but you want them to be good and snug. Of course, I always give everything the wiggle test. This has a little tab right here. If you want to, if it's kind of bent up like mine is, you can take a flathead screwdriver and just kind of bump it a few times and knock it back down to where it sits in that groove. That way you don't have to worry about your main cable twisting and turning sitting on top of there. So there it is, guys. There's the starter install. Nothing to it. Just make sure again that you clean out your bolt holes and you clean your bolts up before you do this. And with that, we'll go to the next thing. Have a good one.